Let me show you how I made this beautiful tote bag with my pieces fabric. So I made my Ankara baggy trouser, so the pieces that is left I decided to use it in making this beautiful tote bag. So if you are interested in learning, stay tuned as we are about to start. If you have not subscribed, please kindly subscribe to the channel. So I'll be making use of this piece for it. This is I didn't really measure it, so we are going to measure everything together. This is what I have, and then this black fabric you are seeing by your right side is doll face. Yes, it's black doll face. I'll be using as lining for it. So let's get right into the video properly by measuring. So what I have here is, this is 12 inches, and then the width, which is the down part, is like 10 inches. So if you want to make yours, you can do it like wider, let's say 15 to 20, so that it will be enough for you. This is just an illustration and also a simple tutorial. So I made sure both sides are equal, both on the lining and then on the main fabric. So I'll just go ahead to join them together so that we can start our cutting properly. So after pinning it together, first thing we'll be doing is we are going to start the calculation. And note that this thing is cut on fold. The down part is cut on, it is folded. So now I'll be going in with 1.5 inches. So when you are making yours, which is bigger, you can make use of 2 inches so that the down part will be bold for you. I went in by 1.5 and then came up by 1.5. So I'll be using that 1.5 in the two places to connect it with a box. Can you see? Yes, I'm using a box to connect it just like so. So anything I did to this side, I'll definitely do it to the other side. So I went out by 1.5, then went up by 1.5 though. Then I'll be connecting it with a box line, which is going to serve as a base or at the down of the tote bag. This is a stylish tote bag, yes. So after that, next thing we'll be doing is we just pick up our scissors and then cut it off together. So let's go ahead and cut it properly. So after cutting this part, I'll also go ahead and cut this other part exactly. Now after cutting, next thing we'll be doing is we'll be working with the piece that we just cut. So firstly, let's go ahead and unpin it properly and then see what we have. So but before then, let me introduce to you my I have paper stay here, I have hard stay, I have gum stay, whichever one that is convenient for you. So next thing I'll be doing is I'll be using one of the hard stay. I'll iron it on the main fabric, leaving the lining part. I'll not iron on the lining part, I'll only just iron the lining part very well, but I'll not iron anything on it. So guys, after ironing my hard stay, it is not too hard, but then this is what I use for my peplum most times, yes. So after ironing it on it, I've gone ahead to trim it off, and then this is what we have. So note we ironed it on only the main fabric, and then I just went ahead to press the lining aspect. So next thing we'll be doing is I've gone ahead to cut this rope, but then before that, let's measure 3 inches inward. So since this is a small bag, I'll be making use of 2.5 inches. So when you are making yours, you measure 3 inches inward so that you can fix your handle. That's your rope that you'll be using it, which is the handle, right? So I cut this handle. I didn't really measure it, so you just do it the way you want it, just the length you want. So after doing that, I make sure I iron something on it so that it stays properly, because this our Ankara is not that strong, so you need to iron something on it to keep it firm. So after ironing it, I turn it and then I'll place it at that point we mark, at our 2.5 inches mark, and then use the pin to secure it properly. So after doing that on this end, I'll go to the other end and do exact same thing, place it and then use a pin to secure it properly. Then I'll go ahead to stitch it together. So guys, after stitching it, let's close up. So after closing it up, next thing is for us to sew the sides together. Yes, we'll sew it down with 1/2 inch. So let's go ahead and pin it properly so that we can go to the sewing machine and sew it together. So after pinning it and then marking it, this is what I have. And then now we'll be working with the lining properly now. So on the lining, we'll go ahead and fold it and then sew just as I've explained for the main fabric. So let's go ahead and pin it, then I will illustrate on how to go about the stitching of the lining. Now for this lining aspect, for one side you are just going to sew it completely, and this other side you sew half and leave small space at the middle so that we can use it to turn our main fabric when we are done. So next thing is for us to join the down part. Can you see the way I'm doing it? Sorry, my camera is not really showing very well, but you understand what I'm showing you, right? Can you see it? So I just try to like hold it down, then after holding it down, I'll go to the sewing machine and stitch it down with half of an inch. We have been using half of an inch to sew since, so I'll stitch both the lining and then the fabric. When I'm done stitching them together, I'll bring it so that we can take it up from there. So sorry, I'm trying to pin the lining so we can sew it properly. So guys, after sewing it, I'm just training it. Sorry, it's not that showing, but I believe you understand what I'm showing you. This is what we have. And then even the lining aspect, I've also gone ahead to sew it. So next thing we'll be doing is we are just going to be opening the main fabric. Like, let's flip it over and see the beauty first, then we'll continue from there. So now after flipping it over, and this is the beauty of the bag now. So next thing we'll be doing is we want to turn our lining with the fabric. Yes, so we'll be inserting the bag inside the lining, just as you can see me doing like so. I'll just insert the bag into the main lining, and then after inserting it, I make sure all sides are equal, and then I'll arrange it properly. So next thing now is I'll go to the sewing machine and sew the mouth round with half of an inch. So guys, this is what I have after sewing it. Can you see? It's looking so pretty. So next thing for us to do is we are going to use that our little space we left to turn it over, like to flip it over. So let's do that quickly. Sorry, most of this part are not showing, but I believe it is not something that you really need to see. It's just like a mistake while I was recording. So let's flip it up together. So after flipping it, flipping, this is what I have. So next thing, we'll go to the sewing machine and stitch this part that is left open together. So guys, after stitching it, this is what we have. Our bag is 90% ready. So let's arrange it properly and then see what we have. So can you see it's looking so fine? You can even put your makeup things inside because it's so tiny. So next thing now, on the mouth of the bag, we are just going to stitch it down very well so that the handle and everything can stay in place with just 0.25 inches, just like stitching something down. So after stitching it down, this is what we have, and this is the final look. Bye, and see you in my next tutorial.